Okay, we are here, and it is time. Okay, we are here. Little sound check. We are all good. I am coming through. Nice little lo-fi music in the background, uncopyrightable. At least that's what it says. So let's get into the first episode of Something to Listen to. Very excited to start the first episode. Let's start off with what this show is going to be about. This show is going to be about people. This first episode is going to be about me. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, hobbies, interests, stuff like that. And then my plan is to, after this episode, start bringing people on to talk about their lives, their hobbies, and things like that. And then after that, if I bring someone back on, we'll talk about topics that are going on that are in life right now, news, stuff like that, things that are interesting to me personally and to the people that I bring on. And that's kind of the plan for this podcast. So with that being said, let's start off with where we're starting. So where we're starting at is here, obviously. Right now, I am creating a platform for this podcast to grow and develop. So first, it is going to be live streamed here on this YouTube channel for you guys and your viewing pleasure, of course. That's the main goal of this podcast, is it's about you guys. So since this channel of mine that I have created already has a following and I am allowed to live stream on this channel right now, this is where it will be at first. Later, I plan on taking this podcast and putting it on its own channel. Its own channel already exists. It is called Something to Listen to, which is the name of the podcast. It is on YouTube. You can go subscribe. Good luck finding it. If you have my Snapchat, the link is already there. If you're on my YouTube channel, it is also in my YouTube description now. So if you would like to go subscribe to the YouTube channel's podcast, the podcast's YouTube channel, you can go to my channel and find the link. The link will be called STLT YouTube. And you can go there and you can subscribe to the channel. As soon as we get to 50 subscribers on that YouTube channel, I will start taking all of the podcast episodes live streamed to that channel instead of this channel, because this channel is my channel for streaming games and also uploading controller reviews and other things like that, along with some other hobbies that I'm picking up that I will talk about today in this episode of the podcast. So I hope you are excited for that. Also, I have figured out I'm trying to figure out right now, as before I got here, and now I will continue it afterwards, taking this episode of the podcast that I am also recording, and putting it on that YouTube channel until I can start streaming there, and then I might still record it and post it as an actual podcast later after and edit it down. But as of right now, it will be raw, unedited footage that will get uploaded to that YouTube channel, and also hopefully a Spotify account for the podcast. So if you guys have Spotify, which is the most used music streaming platform of all time, like easily, you can take you can go to Spotify, you can find the Something to Listen to podcast, follow it there, and start listening to it on Spotify. So if you want to listen to it at work, if you want to listen to it on a drive somewhere and lock your phone, you can do that now. and that well, not now, hopefully. That is the plan. After I get done here, I am going to go to work taking this podcast and putting it on the YouTube channel and also on the Spotify for you guys. But that is my plan for right now. And then when I get a laptop, I will take this podcast and I will start putting it everywhere that I can. Audio, Amazon's podcasting platform. I think it's like through audiobooks. Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, obviously Spotify. Everywhere that you can find your podcast is where I plan on putting this podcast. As soon as I get a laptop, I will start editing the videos and trimming them down so that way it's just the important bits. There's no weird stuff at the beginning. Maybe there'll be an intro and stuff like that. Because I want to take this podcast and I want to make something out of it. I don't want it to just be something simple. I want it to be something that I've created to the best of my abilities for you guys to enjoy and I enjoy making. So with that being said, and me finishing up now, talking about what the show is about and what I plan on doing with the podcast from here on, let's get into what this podcast is meant for, talking about the people. So let's start off with talking about me. I grew up in Illinois, in the U.S. I went to school like everyone else. I am graduated at this point. I am 22 years of age. And I like to create content for people, including this podcast, including my YouTube channel. I've taken some breaks every now and again, but I hope to finally get back onto it and hopefully end up making a career out of the podcast, the YouTube channels, and stuff that I like to do, which is hard right now with jobs. I have one job. I flip houses here in Illinois, around my local area. I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 years now. And I work with, it's just me and my boss, and I plan on bringing him on the podcast as well, as long as I can convince him to do that, which seems like he's on board, so I'm very excited to do that. But, that's kind of what I do right now. I work flipping houses, and then I try to make time for all of my hobbies, which is what I plan on talking about next, actually. So hobbies, obviously I have this, which is becoming a hobby of mine, creating content. The YouTube channel and now this podcast are one of the many hobbies that I have, along with playing video games. I would consider a hobby because I have so much time into playing video games. I play video games for pleasure and for competition. I have been going to a tournament in Jacksonville at Illinois College. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to the podcast. But I've been going to a Smash tournament in Jacksonville at the Illinois College. It is a little local that my friend puts on, and I hope to have him also on the podcast at some point, and have him talk about that tournament, because it is a phenomenal scene that he is building, and I am truly honored to be helping out that scene along being a part of it. That is another hobby of mine, is the Smash community. I play Smash at a competitive level, not to the point where I'm going to majors and winning majors, to the point of where I go to tournaments that are local and enjoy playing at those tournaments, along with hanging out with my friends at those tournaments and enjoying and loving the game and playing the game with them. I mean, as of right now, we have a regional coming up literally this Saturday. that I'm super excited for, that I'm playing a major part in. I'm helping with the stream. I'm helping with the stream at the tournament. I'm playing the game. I'm helping tons, but that's besides the point. I just wanted to let you guys know that that is another hobby that I have a very big passion for. It means a lot to me. I go like every weekend to this thing, and it means so much to me that this is something that I can go and do and participate in, because it is genuinely so fun. And the name of the tournament is the Ballad of Smash, I'm pretty sure, and this is number 2. We had one last year, but this year is the Ballad 2. We have live music and stuff like that right in Jacksonville hosted at Illinois College. If you are interested in, I know I'm shouting out something else now, but it's important to me. So if you are interested in attending a tournament, and you would like to go to a tournament, and you live in this local area, or you're not too far away and you don't mind traveling, the Ballad of Smash 2, you can check it out on start.gg, and we have a Discord and a bunch of other stuff. And I do hope to see you guys there, if you guys can attend and you guys want to attend. Other hobbies that I have, among those hobbies are things like I've been getting into the car scene. I have always had a big love for cars. I've always thought that they are so fascinating and so in depth and so beautiful. Just the way an engine works, the way cars work, the way cars look, building cars, is just so interesting to me, and I just love it so much that I would love to start building cars. I would love to buy cars, start building them, dream cars of mine, like the 92 S10 that I have. I absolutely love that thing to death, and I would love to just, and it runs, and it's a beautiful truck. It truly is. But I would love to take it to the next level at some point, and maybe even film it for you guys and post it on this YouTube channel of me, redoing it, fixing the seats, fixing the rust, fixing the engine, making it better, stuff like that, along with buying other vehicles that I would love to have, like a Volkswagen Golf or a OBS Ford. I'm a Chevy guy, but the OBS Ford is beautiful, and I would love to have an OBS Ford and fix it up and show you guys my progress of doing that, because I have a passion for that, and I love to share my passions with you guys, which is another reason I started this podcast. And so those are a lot of the main things that I've been keeping of hobbies that I've been keeping up with, along with like technology. I love keeping up to date with the technology of the world and what is going on in that realm of media. Controllers, PC parts, consoles, every single little bit of tech that I can get my dirty little hands on, I absolutely love and am so interested in. I have started modding controllers. I have started to, even at Smash tournaments, ask people if they want a shell swap, and if they buy the shell, I'll swap it for them at the tournament. Just because I love building tech products, and I would love to also start building cars as well, but that's a future endeavor when I have more money to do that, because right now we are living on a single paycheck, and we gotta make do with what we got. And so I share a lot of these hobbies with you guys already, and you guys have seen that across my various social medias. Like, I've started taking photos, taking more photos of the beautiful scenery or vehicles that I own, even vehicles that I don't own sometimes, everything, taking photos of just the gorgeousness that is the world. I've found a love for that, and I so I started taking photos, and so I just do that now as well. And it is another thing that I just have so much fun doing, along with other things that I've picked up. I've found out that I love music a lot. Music is something that means a lot to most people, and I understand that. But I also have found an absolute love for music and podcasts as well. I started getting like really in-depth into music a few years back, and that's when I started picking up singing as well as another hobby/interest of mine. I absolutely love singing songs that mean something to me or that I just love in general. Like the soundtrack of like Sonic games that have lyrics like Escape from the City, Live and Learn, stuff like that. Reach for the Stars is an amazing song that I just love so much, and so I have sang it. And I would love to perform more, and maybe that's something I start to do as well, as I take myself singing these songs and I upload them to YouTube. But I found so much love in singing songs that I truly enjoy. And it's not just soundtrack game music, it's country music. I've found love with bands like Treaty Oak Revival, Sack Top, people like that, Coetzel, classic country music like Joe Diffie and Hank Williams Jr. Are artists that I've been listening to in the country genre, and I've just picked up and started loving those songs out of seemingly nowhere. But I love all music as well, so I listen to gaming soundtracks, I listen to rap like Kendrick Lamar or Eminem, I listen to rock like AC/DC, Metallica, stuff like that, and I love like the upbeat stuff or the pop artists. Like Good Kid is a phenomenal artist that I found after watching a YouTube highlight reel of someone playing Smash Bros. I heard one of his songs, and I've just been picking up his songs and listening to them. I found a song that I love from a show that I watch called Invincible. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's phenomenal. But Feel It from Invincible is another amazing song made by D4VD. I could just say David, but he's phenomenal and he makes great music. And these are just things that mean so much to me that I've started to sing the songs because I love them so much. And they mean literally so much to me. And so that's another thing that I've picked up and I've started doing, is singing music, and it has truly been phenomenal. Recently I also found an interesting hobby that I've been doing, that I just started doing from a friend that is at IC. He asked me to come on for a play, and so I was like, I've never done that in my entire life, but I can try it, sure, why not? It sounds fun. And so that's what I did. I showed up, I tried out, I got a few parts, and that's something else that I'm doing, and that's taking up a lot of time. A lot of this is taking up a lot of time, and so I'm running out of time for a lot of things, but I try to make time for everything. All the things in my life that I have to do, but it is difficult. It is very difficult. And it's just something that I absolutely enjoy and can't get enough of. yeah, I would like to talk about some of the things that mean a lot to me right now, that have been helping me in my life to calm down and stay planted in this ever-growing world. Music, I just went on a huge rant about, and that's been one big thing. Podcasts is another thing. I found a love through podcasts when I started working at the job that I'm at now, where I flip houses. My boss recommended it to me, actually, and that's what made me love podcasts and also make me want to start a podcast. We were working one day, and I had ran out of songs that I liked to listen to, because I had just been listening to music so much working with him, and so he recommended podcasts, something that he picked up after he got bored of listening to music all the time. And I said, I will try that out. And so I found some podcasts that I absolutely love, and they help get me through my day. They help make me happy and learn things that I never thought I would learn to love. Like, Markiplier is one of my biggest inspirations of all time for YouTube and podcasts, and everything that he does is just a huge inspiration. And he has started a podcast called Go My Favorite Sports Team, and it was not something that I thought I'd be interested in, but I started listening to it just because I wanted something else to listen to, and it grew after I listened to it and I continued to listen to it, and I just grew to love it and find a love for sports as well. Something I picked up last year was I found a love for football, and specifically the Buffalo Bills as a team and an organization, and the players on it. And just football in general, watching the game, watching the Bills succeed and their losses, was very, entertaining, heartbreaking, and exciting to me. And it's not something that I ever thought that I'd be interested in, because I grew up and I played soccer, but I never really watched soccer. I grew up, I played tennis, never really liked tennis, I never really watched tennis. I grew up, and my most played sport is cross country, which is more of a running sport. You don't really play it, you run. But that's not really an outlet for people to watch, and so I just didn't really watch sports. But as this year last year came, I found a love for football that I didn't know I had in me. It was always something that I never thought that I'd really get into, because when I was little, I always wanted to play football. That was the big sport, right? Everyone wants to play football. Everyone loves football because it's America's game, and so I wanted to play football, and because of my size and stature, was told I should not. I would get injured, I would get hurt, and so I didn't play football. And because of that, I kind of just didn't really want to watch football, because I didn't get to participate in something that I wanted to try. And so I just didn't watch football until last year. I started watching football, and I just fell in love with the game, and how all the aspects of how technical and how teams use certain skills and certain players and certain techniques to get points and to win a football game. And with finding that, I also found a love for the Buffalo Bills and making that my favorite team, which is crazy because I grew up in Illinois and they're a New York team. But that's besides the point. I liked the players. I liked watching them play. Every time they came on, I just wanted to watch them. Every time I was just waiting for a Bills game to come on so I could watch them, because I had a good time watching them. I loved watching Josh Allen play football, because I think that his mind for the game is great, and I loved watching the way he thought about the game, along with the team that surrounded him and how well they played, even though they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Screw the Chiefs, by the way. Yeah. So that was something that I just found and have found a love for, and just can't wait for next season. I truly can't wait. I'm so excited to start watching football when it comes back on. I also, and that's been another thing that's kept me grounded. But back to the podcast side of things that have kept me grounded. I started listening to podcasts, and I found beautiful podcasts that just mean so much to me, and also help me make it through the day, and are so entertaining to watch. Stuff put on by Markiplier and his friends, or story podcasts that have to do with like the Power Rangers, even, which is crazy to say, but there's a podcast called the Power Rangers Audio Drama, and he's just doing phenomenal things with something that I never thought could get to that level of creativity, because every episode of Power Rangers when you were growing up was just, we fight bad guy, we beat him, he comes back bigger, we get in mech, we beat him, and then next episode. That was pretty much it, and he's taken it to a completely new level. Along with making that podcast specifically, he also makes a podcast called the X-Men Audio Drama, which is phenomenal as well. He takes things, the X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men comic books, and he just puts them in a podcast with a narrator and different people being these characters, and you can just, it's so good that you can visualize everything in your head, and it's just something that I look forward to every single time an episode comes out. And it's phenomenal. And there's just so many other podcasts that I fell in love with because of that, and that's what made me want to make a podcast, because I wanted something that someone enjoyed and was so excited for a new episode to come out, and just look forward to it. And it gives you something to listen to when you're busy doing something, so you can't watch something, but you don't want to listen to music, and it gives you something. And so that's why this is here, is something to listen to. Some other things that I absolutely just love are movies. I have a giant love for movies. Marvel, and TV shows as well. Marvel, DC. I talked about Invincible earlier. It's phenomenal. I've found so many great movies and shows that I would have just never thought about, just because of things like TikTok and I don't like that people do this, but it does help me find stuff that I never thought I would watch, but it's great stuff. Like, Bike Riders came out at the end of 2023, coming into 2024, I'm pretty sure. And I would have never thought to listen to that, or watch that movie, but it came out, and it was just amazing. It was great storylines, great visuals, everything. I just loved the movie so much. Just, there's so much that went into Bike Riders, and it was phenomenal. Along with movies like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was something that came out that originally I wouldn't have thought about even watching, but it had so many good reviews, and so many people were talking about it, that I was like, fine, I'll go watch it. And it was a truly phenomenal movie. The visuals, the characters, the storylines, and everything that happened, and the actors as well, doing the jobs that they do in their roles, is truly phenomenal to see how something as simple as a movie about people on bikes comes to be something so great. And TV shows as well. I am of the people, I am of the nerds that has not ever really had the opportunity to read comic books. I've always wanted to read comic books, and I've never really been a big book reader, but I've always wanted to read comic books. I've always thought that they were going to be great, because that just makes sense. They're comic books. How could they not be great? And so I wanted to get into those, but I never got the chance to. So when my dad brought me into the scene of Marvel, he had Iron Man 1, and we watched it, and I thought that was just amazing. So I found that at a very young age, and it was great. And ever since then, I've just been interested in Marvel. I found a love for so many characters in there, along with the love of my favorite character of all time across all media that's ever existed, Spider-Man. He is my inspiration as well, as to be a better person and to do the right thing, because Spider-Man is truly just an amazing character that you just can't put into words because of how great he is, in my opinion, at least. For the longest time when I was younger, I was convinced that I would be Spider-Man, because growing up, I was the nerd kid that got bullied by everyone in school, and didn't get the girl ever. So I hate to be that guy, but I feel like I kind of look like him. He's always been a brown-haired kid, or a brown-haired guy with brown eyes, glasses, and a stick frame, you know? He's not been the buffest guy, but he's not cool either. He's just there. And so I always had a very strong connection with Spider-Man as a character, and he teaches me to be the bigger person, be the better person, be the person I want to be, which is another thing that I picked up from last year. I don't want to please people anymore. I just kind of want to be me, which happens to be the guy who likes a lot of things. Along with being a nerd, I also have country things that I'm interested in, like building trucks, building cars, going on dirt trails, riding dirt bikes through trails, four-wheelers, stuff like that. That's another hobby I would love to pick up, is dirt bike riding. I used to ride dirt bikes when I was little, because my grandpa got little pit bikes for us to ride around when we were little, and I learned how to ride a dirt bike off of that, and they were all non-clutched, so I don't know how to ride a clutch yet, but I will learn, and then I will get my own bike, and I will figure it out from there. But I just have a passion for dirt bike riding as well, because it's just something from when I was little that I still absolutely love and can't get enough of, because it's just so great. It's so fun. It's so involving. I just love all of it. Everything to do with dirt bike riding. It just gives me something to do. And I mean, yes, I have plenty of other things to do, but it's something else to do to get me out of the house, which is nice, because it's when I'm on a bike, it's me and the trail that I'm in, and once I learn the trail, I'm repeating that trail, trying to go as fast as I can, trying to get it down as fast as I can with as little slip-ups as possible, and enjoying the thrill of that. Yeah. We could talk about my interest in video games and how that came to be as well. Again, it's another thing that started in me at a young age. My first ever video game that I played was a modded version of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the PC. It was emulated, and you could play, it was Sonic 1, but you could play as Cream, the bunny, Sonic, the hedgehog, Tails, the fox, and Knuckles, the echidna, all in Sonic 1, which was crazy. I just thought that's what Sonic 1 was, because that was the first game I ever played. But with that, I blossomed a love for playing games, but also a love for Sonic as a character as well. Sonic is another character that means a lot to me. He is easily my favorite video game character, just because he was my first, and he deserves it. He teaches me so many things, like just be you and be rad doing it, because Sonic is a rad guy. I mean, there's not a lot to it besides that. Sonic is one of the GOATs of video games. And so I have to thank Sega for making that. But along with other things, after I did that, I wanted to play more video games. And so when I was younger, my mom had a DS Lite, a white DS Lite, and she got it for brain age, to try and keep her brain healthy and stuff like that. And I just wanted to play on it. I had no idea what was going on with brain age, but I just wanted to play it just because it was a video game to play. And then eventually she got other games for it, and then my older sister got her own DS, and then when my birthday came around, I got my own DS, and then I got to find other games like Mario. The new Super Mario Bros. Series of games is very fun. It gets boring after a little while because it's kind of just feels like it's on repeat, but it gives you something to do. It's another video game. I found one of my favorite Sonic games of all time, which is my guilty pleasure of Sonic games, because everyone loves a bad Sonic game like Sonic Colors on the DS, or even like Sonic Unleashed or Sonic 06. Everyone has a bad Sonic game that they do like. If you play video games, obviously, and you play Sonic games, everyone that plays Sonic games always has a bad Sonic game that they're like, this is a great game. I don't know why everyone doesn't like it. My bad Sonic game is either Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Colors on the DS. But I've come to realize that most people actually are really high on Sonic Colors on the DS, so maybe that was a conceited thing that I had heard about. I don't know. But other video games that I play, at that point, after I got my DS and I found a lot of the games, like Mario Kart even. Mario Kart is a phenomenal game. Everyone knows Mario Kart. Almost everyone's played Mario Kart, and if you haven't, you at least know the concept, because it's just phenomenal. And then after that, my family got a Wii for Christmas, and that was the greatest thing of all time. It was phenomenal being able to play games that I never knew you could even do. Like, it was crazy. Having a console that I could play games on my TV on at that point was just so crazy to me, because I had never had that at that point, besides my dad's computer, which was on a monitor. So having it on a giant TV was really cool to experience. Playing games from my childhood, I played NASCAR kart racing on the Wii, which is very funny because it is Mario Kart but with NASCAR drivers, and it's a good game. I will stand by that. It is a good game because I played it. I mean, I'm being biased, but I do think it is a good game. Like I said, it's Mario Kart but with NASCAR drivers. It's great. Family game night on the Wii Sports, just teaching me to love games that I never knew existed. And then we moved forward, and we got games like Disney Infinity and Skylanders, which are some of the biggest things and most crazy things that have ever happened in video game history. You buy figurines, you put them on a platform, and you get to play as that character in the game. So you have little toys that you can project into a game and then play them in the game. And that was crazy to me. Skylanders and Disney Infinity were some of the biggest reasons on why I got so deep into gaming, because I just love those games so much. I have so many Skylanders. They're in my closet, actually. I don't plan on ever getting rid of them until they're like super worth something, or never, actually. Most likely I'll probably never get rid of them, just because they mean so much to me. It's one of the biggest things that I grew up on. In fact, the entire reason I asked my parents for an Xbox 360 for Christmas was because Disney Infinity 3.0 was coming out, and it wasn't going to be on the Wii. And I wanted to play Disney Infinity 3.0 because that was the newest one. And so I asked for an Xbox 360, and lo and behold, I did get an Xbox 360, which was great because I was able to play the newer Disney Infinity, which was a phenomenal game. It was so interesting to me on how that worked and what it held and what you could do with it, along with Skylanders, the newer Skylanders. I don't remember which one that one was called that I got on the Xbox, but it was also something that was just, wow, that's crazy. This is insane that we have this, and this is so fun. Along with that, I found other games that maybe I didn't play as much, but still had a love for, like Guitar Hero. We got Guitar Hero on the Xbox 360. I tried it once. I wasn't that good at it. But I still have a love for games like Guitar Hero because I just think that concept is so interesting. And through getting the Xbox 360, I also found the Lego games. So my first Lego game was Lego Marvel Superheroes, and that game was phenomenal. 100% completed it, and then my game glitched. So if you don't know how Lego Marvel Superheroes works, in the first one you have to collect these little tokens that have Stan Lee's face on it. If you don't know who Stan Lee is, how dare you? First. Second of all, Stan Lee is the creator of, or one of the main creator of Marvel. He came up with most of the ideas and brought them to illustrators like Jack Kirby to start producing those and bringing them to life for comic books. And so he was made as a character in that game. And if you collected all the tokens that were hidden around the map, you unlocked him. And me and my little sibling worked our butts off to get all of those tokens and unlock him. We were looking up YouTube videos and scouring the map and just trying to find every single token. And we unlocked him. We did it. And we were super excited that both of us immediately went to play him and found out how insanely fun he was, because Stan Lee is just a combination of a bunch of different superheroes. He's got like Captain America's shield. He can swing like Spider-Man. He can turn into the Hulk. And that was just so cool. And then we log off. We go to bed because it's time to go to bed. And we go to get back on the next day. Poof, he was gone. Our account glitched and he was gone. But our game, this is the important part, our game had still glitched to the point where we had still collected all the tokens. So we couldn't go collect the tokens that went out missing because we had already collected all the tokens. So there's no tokens to collect. But the character was still locked. So we could no longer play Stan Lee. And we still have that account on the Xbox 360 that we have. And that was just something phenomenal that just meant something to me because of the enjoyment and the fun that I had with that game, and the involvement and what that game brought to the table, and what that game made me want to do, and other games that I wanted to play. Like we rented when Family Video was still a thing. Yeah, Family Video. I'm that old. We rented Lego Marvel Avengers, which was a game that came out after Lego Marvel Superheroes, but before Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, which was funny. And me and my little sibling started playing those games, and we absolutely started playing that game. We absolutely loved it, and then since we rented it, we had to take it back, which is unfortunate. So we never actually had a physical copy of Lego Marvel Avengers. But that later made me want, when Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 came out, I wanted to buy that game, so I bought it, and I wanted to play it with my little sibling, because that was something that I remembered from when we were little, and lo and behold, I ended up completing the game by myself, but that's besides the point. But through getting the Xbox 360, we also found a game called Minecraft, which is a legendary game. I mean, it's been, for the longest time, it was the #1 selling game across all media ever to exist. Everyone loves Minecraft. If you've played video games, you've probably played Minecraft, and you probably like Minecraft. There's so much to do, spanning across creative mode, survival mode, and playing with friends, playing it on your phone, playing it on a console, playing it on a computer. You can play it anywhere, and you can play it with anyone at any time. And that was my first experience with multiplayer games. And I just had so much fun with it. It brought so much to the table. It brought so much... I can't find the word for it. Creativity to my brain, to make me want to create things and recreate things that I loved in that game, and then play the game the normal way as well. But I did love creative the most, I will admit. But I have been taking a liking to survival here more recently. But I don't play it as much anymore. But that was another game that meant something a lot to me when I was little. And I'm sure most people that have played video games have played Minecraft. And you've obviously probably seen either the live streams or the videos of Minecraft on my YouTube channel, because I just have an absolute love for Minecraft. And I will never stop liking Minecraft. I just might stop playing it every now and again. Other games that have just came out of nowhere. Fortnite is a huge thing. It's still going huge today. And when it first came out, I was very against it. I never thought that it was going to be anything that would be super important to me, or super big, or something that I would enjoy. And when the game released during Season 3, Chapter 1 on mobile, I was like, fine, I'll try it. Because at that point, I didn't have any consoles, so I was playing everything on my phone, pretty much. Besides, like, the Wii and the Xbox 360, which wasn't getting any new games, so I was playing old games. And so I tried it out, and I fell in love with that game. I learned how to... So I played the game on my phone, just with my phone sideways. I learned how to play Claw on a mobile phone to get better at the game, so it would make the game easier. And then eventually I got my phone upgraded. But while being an upgrade, because my iPhone was being stupid, which is a topic for another time, we'll talk about how Apple sucks. But I upgraded to a phone that could not run Fortnite. And so for a while I took a break, and I was playing other games on my phone that I could play, like Clash Royale, which is a huge game from my high school and middle school career, and Call of Duty Mobile, which is another huge game from my high school and middle school career, of games that I just absolutely love and have so many fond memories of. But then coming into, I don't remember what year, but I think it's before 2020, because that's when I graduated. So it was probably around 2018, I got a Switch Lite. So I was able to play games on a console again. And that had been something that I had been begging for, because all of my... a lot of my friends had them, and they played Smash Brothers, and I love hanging out with my friends at school playing Smash Brothers, which is an entire different topic of how I got into Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is a game that is so near and dear to my heart, and is why I still participate in the community that exists with Smash Brothers. My first experience ever with Super Smash Brothers as a video game franchise was at band camp. I had a buddy who brought in a TV, a Wii, and a few controllers. And he loads up Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube. For those of you who didn't know, I said he brought a Wii. The original Wiis, the white Wiis, are backwards compatible with GameCube. And so he loaded up Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube. And I was like, what is this? And he says, it's a fighting game, but it has a bunch of Nintendo characters in it. I said, this looks phenomenal. Can I please play? He says, yeah, grab a controller. And so I'd played characters that I had seen before that I thought looked cool, or like Link, Mario, characters like that. And I wasn't doing too hot, and but then he's like, try out Fox. He's very good in this game. And so I started playing Fox, and I started winning. And already before I had started playing Fox at that point, I had absolutely just had a love for the game, even though I was doing absolutely terrible and could not understand anything that was going on. But I started playing Fox and started winning and had even more fun because I'm winning now. Obviously, I'm playing the best character in the game. So then they got tired of Melee and losing to my Melee Fox, even though I wasn't that good. I was not that good, but Fox was just so good, and we were all so bad at the game that just picking a really good character and starting to pick up on things as you play the game just made you win. And so that was phenomenal. But then we switched over to the next game in the series, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which is another good game. It's a good game. I know everyone is getting mad at their screens right now because I'm calling Super Smash Bros. Brawl a good game. It has a lot of flaws, but it was fun. You can't tell me that game didn't come out and you didn't have fun playing that game. No matter if it wasn't as good as the predecessor Melee or as good as the titles that have released afterwards, you have to admit you had fun on that game. And of course, me being who I was like, well, I had fun playing Fox on Melee, I'll play Fox in this game. And so I played Fox for a little bit, and he wasn't not as good in Brawl. But I had fun playing him in that game, and so I played him for the rest of the time at band camp until pasta parties for cross country. We had a pasta party. Every time we had a pasta party at a specific friend of mine's house, he had a Wii, and he had Brawl, and he had controllers for enough people to play. And so we would do a 1v1v1v1 players for a bracket at the pasta party to see who could win it all. And it would be single elimination, and you would just hop in, you'd play your turn. If you got the top two, you'd move on to the next round, and you would be playing in the next group of people. And only the top two players would proceed until you got to the last match, and then the last player that's standing wins it all. And at that point, I had no idea what was going on, so I was just picking Fox and not doing too hot. And then one of my friends suggested Pit. He says Pit is a very beginner-friendly character because he has a lot of jumps and his moves are kind of big, kind of like Kirby. But everyone finds Kirby super annoying because every beginner plays Kirby. So if you play Pit, people might leave you alone. And so I played Pit, and I had my older sister, who was also on the cross-country team. I convinced her to participate in one of the tournaments, and I was teaching her how to play, even though I didn't know that much about the game, but I knew more than her, obviously. And so she also played Pit, and I taught her how to play on a GameCube controller, which was a mistake because he only had one GameCube controller, and that's the only controller I knew how to play on. But Jalen also, so I had to teach Jalen how to play on a GameCube controller. So whenever Jalen got a chance to play, she would use a GameCube controller, or my sister, she would use a GameCube controller, and then I would use a game controller whenever it came my turn to play. And we both made it to grand finals. Well, if we're both playing at the same time and there's only one GameCube controller, one person is not going to have the GameCube controller. And I said, I'm going to take the GameCube controller. I have the best chance at winning, and I would like to win because this would be so cool if I could win this. And my older sister goes, "No, it's not fair. You've been playing longer than I have. This is the only way I know how to play, and so I will be playing with the GameCube controller." And since she was older than me, kind of have to listen to her. So I reluctantly gave her the GameCube controller and played on a sideways Wiimote, and was one of the first people to lose, because people had established me as a threat at that point, because I had made it to grand finals and I was doing pretty well playing Pit. And so me and my older sister both hopped in, and I tried to help her out because obviously she wasn't that good. This was her first time ever playing, so I helped her out as much as I could. Ended up dying very early, and it came down to just my older sister and someone else. I do not remember who. He was kind of my friend at the time, but I do not remember who it was. All of those people that were kind of my friend at the time, and I still like to consider most of them my friends, but it was her and one other guy, and somehow my older sister won. And she continues to hold that over my head to this day. So she will no longer play Smash Brothers. I can't convince her to play Smash Brothers, and she will hold that over me till the day she dies, which I think is hilarious, but also ouch. And at that point, that was all I had known for Smash. But then the Switch released, and then Smash Ultimate came out, and it just exploded. Everyone that had gotten a Switch also had Smash Brothers. All of my friends on the cross country team, all of my friends on the swim team, all of my friends on band that played video games like me had a Switch and were playing Smash Bros. Pretty much every single chance that they had. And I didn't have a Switch, so I took every chance that I got. Anything that they'd give me, any controller they'd give me. I'd play with a sideways Joy-Con. I'd play at handheld mode. I'd play with a Pro controller if they gave it to me. And none of them really played on GameCube controllers, but eventually I had gotten such a love for the game that I had started watching YouTube videos on how to get better, because I wanted to get better and also play the game more. So every chance that I got, I was playing the game, and when I wasn't playing the game because I wasn't hanging out with my friends, I was watching the game. I found the competitive scene. I found people teaching me how to play characters, and so I just picked it up, and just that became so huge. And then, like I said, at one point in the future, probably around like 2018-19, I got a Switch Lite, and I got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I was like, dang, this is not the game I wanted. And then I went to my grandma's house later, and I got Smash Bros. At their house, and then proceeded to stay up the entire night unlocking every single character that was out at that point. And at that point, let's see, it's an like 82 character roster, but that's including DLC. So take away, there's like 6 characters and then 5 characters, so that's 11. So take away 11, so that's like 71 characters in the base game, unlocking all 71 characters except for the characters that were originally in the first Smash Brothers, which was Smash for the Nintendo 64. But every other character I had to unlock, and I unlocked every single character that night, playing in handheld mode, because all I had was a Switch Lite and nothing else along with the games. And so I'm playing in handheld mode. Unlocked every single character that night, continue to practice, watch videos, and try to do the best I can, and I could never get to the point where I could beat anyone at our school. It was sad. I was very sad. And so when I got out of high school, and my main friend that played Smash moved to, or at least the best player at my school that played Smash. He was still a phenomenal guy. I still love that guy, and I would love to have him come to something like Ballad or other things like that, or just play Smash with him, or even just hang out with him. I every now and again get online and play Smash with him, but for those of you who've played Smash Ultimate online, know that it's not that great. But he moved to Texas, and I kind of just stopped playing. Everyone else stopped playing. Everyone moved on. going to college because we'd all graduated, and with the pandemic, there wasn't a lot to do. And then I had made a friend that I knew in high school, and we started playing Smash. I brought him into the Smash community, and he had a love for the game beforehand too, and he made so we started playing the game a lot. We introduced it to more people, and so we had a little 4-person group that played Smash Brothers together for a little bit. And then another friend from school saw me in GameStop one day and was talking about Smash and asked if I still played. And I said, yeah, I love the game. And then he told me about the tournament at IC, and that's how I found out about the Blue Boys Fight Nights at IC, which is still a huge part of me and things that I do and hobbies that I do. We have hit an hour. So that is the intended length of the podcast. So I will try and wrap up some things, I guess, right? It's a long rant. I didn't think it would be this hard. Jeez. It'll be easier with more people, but this episode is just me at first, so we'll figure it out. I didn't even get to talk about everything. I was hoping to talk about this game. This game has been like the most important thing to me since it came out. It is my number one game from last year that released, because it is phenomenal. It is great, and I mean, I've played it several times on this YouTube channel, so you guys obviously know that I love the game a lot. But I've kind of taken a step back from playing games. The only games I really play right now are Balatro and Smash. I want to play more, but the problem is finding time with all the hobbies that I have, and obviously I have a lot of hobbies. So maybe we'll do another episode. Maybe I'll try and fill out another hour of me talking nonsense about more hobbies and more things that I have such big passions about, because I didn't even get to go in depth about. I didn't get to talk about how I hate Apple and why I hate Apple, and how I love like technology, computers and stuff like that, going in more in depth with that kind of thing. So I would love to come back and do this again, but next episode I will have on my buddy that was my first ever friend that was not in my family. So I am super excited for that, and hopefully I will be able to bring up my camera and his camera, and you can chat with us while we chat with you guys. And so that will be the next episode, and hopefully it'll be sometime next week. The plan is for it to be on Tuesday. Who knows if that'll happen with my schedule. But whenever I have the free time, I will have the next episode of the podcast live streamed and then uploaded. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. I really hope you guys did. Like I said at the beginning, this podcast has its own YouTube channel. If you're on my Snapchat, it's very easy to find because I posted it on my story. If you're not on my Snapchat, that's fine. You don't need to be on my Snapchat. But my YouTube channel, if you go to the description of my YouTube channel, the link to the podcast YouTube channel is in the description of my YouTube channel. So very easy to find. Yeah. So if you would like to go find that and subscribe to that, I will start posting these podcast episodes there, but then as soon as we have 50 subscribers on there, I will start live streaming the episodes on that channel. I just can't live stream until I hit 50 subscribers. So for right now, they will stay here, and then later they will go up over there. I also plan on trying to put these episodes on Spotify. That's something I'm going to work on after this. So if you guys are interested in that, you should hopefully be able to find Elliot. If I get it figured out tonight, I will probably make a post about it on my YouTube channel and on the podcast YouTube channel. And then you guys should be able to find it on Spotify and listen to it there. So follow it there as well. So thank you guys so much for coming to watch the first episode of Something to Listen to. This show was brought to you by me and me only. Something I've started, something I am working on by myself, and something that I hope to continue to do and bring to light more things that I enjoy, but along with things that other people enjoy as well. So I don't want to continue to drag this on. So the last thing I'll say is, please remember to be you. That's the most important thing. Don't let anyone tell you who to be. That's something I was working on last year. You have to be you. And don't be who everyone else wants you to be. Be you. Be the person that makes you happy. Be the person that is a nerd but also loves to work on cars and loves sports. Be the person that just likes to do one of those things. Be who you want to be. Be who makes you happy. Do what you want to do and worry about the others later. Because to you, you should be the most important. What matters the most is you. And so be yourself, and don't let anyone tell you to not be yourself. Because there's only one you. So, I am going to get off of here and then try and figure out how to put this thing on Spotify and put this thing on its YouTube channel. So, thank you guys again for coming to the first episode of the podcast. This is the pilot. The next episode will have a different name, obviously, but the next episode will hopefully be next week, hopefully on Tuesday, but it just depends on my schedule. It will be, my plan is, if I have time, next week, Tuesday. If I don't have time on Tuesday, it will be sometime next week, because I should have time at least at some point next week. So thank you so much for coming to this episode, and I will get out of here. I will stop bothering you. Enjoy your night, guys. And I'll see you in the next one.